we're on air now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Just checking the audio. We had audio problems last week. No. Just change it over there. Yeah, move it to the right, one to the right with the headphones. Yeah, the audio is not like a good quality, that's why. So it's not picking up the mics, that's why we're changing it. It's plugged in?
Okay. It's not calling. Now, press down. Plug in now.
Or go to the mic too. Is it on? Get your headphones off the thing.
It's on, sir. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Just speak in the mic again.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Testing the mic.
Makes no sense, but you didn't do anything, you didn't change anything.
It's working now? Is it good now?
Just tap it, just keep tapping it. Just keep tapping it. You can hear it, can't you?
No, I can hear it. Put it in one back, one. Mic one. I think just maybe not plug it.
Yeah, it picked up that one.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu
Keep
alaikum.
tapping it. Keep tapping, keep stop. I'll tell you what to say. Yeah, it's good. I've got a headphone on, so I'm testing it as well. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Just want to make sure the mics are being picked up.
Check. Yeah, this was down, Bluetooth.
Assalamu alaikum. Bro, why is it so cold in here?
We're live now already.
Why is it so cold?
Because it's season.
Why?
Because it's hot. Can you just like relax? It's hot. We've been working.
Wow. That's no good. I've got to bring my jacket from here. This is freezing.
Yep.
Assalamu alaikum. This is
No, the mic, we're having mic issues.
Well, still the sound is not good.
the mic's not working?
1 second.
Then where can we turn this off?
I might have to just switch off the my headphones.
Turn this off, it's cold here.
Yeah, it's picking up the camera mics. It's not getting the.
You want me to remove this HDMI?
It picks up this as well.
You want me to remove the HDMI? This HDMI, because last time you get, after the HDMI connection, is the gray one.
It's probably picking up that camera.
That's what I'm saying.
1 second. Maybe you switch it around. See how it's not coming.
Yeah.
Testing.
Can you play?
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Can't hear.
You needed my voice. Sorry. I must say, you made this place look amazing. How much time have you been here? Yeah, but how long did all this take you?
Teamwork.
Was it you two? What time did you get here? It looks amazing.
We spent about 20 minutes, half an hour.
Brother, I'm here from 6 o'clock, right?
You want a pay rise, don't you?
That's more like it.
At 10 past 8, I was in Lonsdale Street.
Oh, mashallah. Yes. When I called you.
Testing.
I
So
was
this is the final
literally-
test on the audio? Sorry, you have to hear that echo. Oh, that's it. We're done. Inshallah, it worked. Just put all the phones on mute.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Well done.
Yeah, we cleaned it up a bit. Get the wiring. All right, alhamdulillah. Apologies. Spent 5 minutes live trying
to
to.
have people live?
Yeah, we do.
Watching the chaos.
Moby, Sami Milal, assalamu alaikum, welcome.
Assalamu alaikum, gentlemen.
Could be Samira. Oh, it's
Or
Ibn
gentle-
Bilal. Sorry,
gentle
Ibn
women.
Bilal. I apologize. All right. MashaAllah. Alrighty. Camera's good. And we're good.
Action. These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Where are you coming from?
Lonsdale Street.
MashaAllah.
When you called me 10 past 8, I didn't think I was going to make it.
Yeah.
MashaAllah, at every red light. You know when you're in a rush? Every red light except for the one on Barry Road.
Yeah.
Just here. But alhamdulillah, we're here now. We are
Alhamdulillah.
in Zen mode. What a big week it's been. So many interesting developments.
Yeah. What's the developments?
Yahya Sinwar.
Oh, yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
words.
We have to be careful with our words because
Oh, yeah.
in some countries, but it's backfired on the Israeli government
That's what I'm talking about.
so badly that I was actually listening today to some Arab, I don't know, online, and it's become like a metaphor already, like in the language. Ramaytu bil asa sinwari or something like that. I even threw the stick of sinwar.
Wow.
Like it's like because the Arabs say, like he's like quoting like the way he's presenting it is like classical Arabic, is ramaytu bil asa sinwari, like I have thrown the stick. I have even meaning that I've
Exhausted everything, every avenue.
and not just that. It's a metaphor to be used in increase where you sacrifice for others and you
Allah.
give it your all, and even like to the last thing that even you. Yeah, it's like Arabs say, you have to have the sabr of Ayub, alayhi salam. Like it's like within 48 hours, it's become a metaphor
It's crazy.
in the language. And
This angle is quite disconcerting, I have to say,
what's that?
because I feel like you're looking at the side of my head and the camera's right in front of me. So
Yeah, well, just
let me try this.
yeah.
How's it going, fellas? You going all right?
Just look in a general direction. I can hear you.
You don't
Yeah.
need to look
You
at
know,
me.
I can't actually. Everything's blurry without my glasses anyway.
Yeah. But
Yeah, so the metaphor is become a metaphor.
metaphor in the language, it
Stick
looks
of
like it's
Sinwar.
yeah. I threw even this. Yeah.
The stick of Sinwar.
Yeah. I threw the stick of. Anyway.
So in the West, we use that as a metaphor for our kids. We tried everything.
Yeah.
Turned out to die.
Exhausted everything. Yeah. But I was listening like on Twitter or reading on Twitter and listening why they would have released it, and it was an Israeli who was that actually was explaining it why
Because
it would
it's
have
proof for something they've actually done.
no.
The truth.
It's culturally, why would they miss why would it be such a gaffe and why a big mistake? Like, and the media, they made so many gaffes already, but the why
from Allah, mate.
specifically this thing, like culturally, he said that he's an Israeli and he's explaining that if you if you get defeated, get killed, get stolen money from, you die for somebody else. Then there's basically like a word that they have. It's very, they said it's an Israeli explaining it. It's a very Israeli concept. You're basically a sucker.
So
That
if you
if you
what?
die for somebody else or somebody, you sacrifice yourself for your country or whatever it is.
Really?
Yeah, they're seen as that like you've lost, you've like actually you've failed in life. If you
Then
you're a sucker.
But what about all these soldiers?
So in their calculation, oh, what a loser.
He died for someone else.
He died for his people or he died for somebody else. Look how
But
he
what
look,
about their soldiers? They always say they died for Israel.
yeah, that's more a thing, but it's just generally it's a very strong concept in their thing. Anyway, I don't know enough about them, but that's why it would slip their radar. That like culturally they're so in that concept is so
Yeah, okay.
identifies their culture that they would have seen, oh yeah, we got him, that's the victory thing. And on the other side is they would have not seen it from the perspective of the rest of the world. And I'm not talking about Muslims. The rest of the world's perspective was
right now. What I'm seeing in the Twitterverse is, what other leader would do this? The other leaders send the poor or the downtrodden of their countries to go fight their wars, while their elite get exemptions, even during the draft.
yeah.
Right, get exemptions because Donald Trump's a classic example. Has he got bone spur or a sixth toe or some random thing like that?
Yeah, and he says as well, he's got that. He goes like, when who's the guy that he was talking about, McCain? He said like he got caught by the
Japanese.
No, Vietnamese. The Vietnamese.
The Vietnamase?
Yeah, I think so. He called him like a loser for getting caught by being a POW. Like he shouldn't have got caught. Like it's a very disrespectful way to look at a combatant. But anyway, so that's one explanation on why it.
Interesting.
Yeah, especially the left and whatnot, like how they a lot of the left commentators they were explaining like the whole world will see it as him as a person like to the cause on the front lines.
Well, people are saying he's bigger than Braveheart and all these other things.
Yeah, and then you've got like Moby just made a comment about the Saudi scholars being happy to see him die.
Is that right?
Yeah, and he said we celebrate the death of innovators, and the earth a burden has been lifted from it. Like, I mean, one thing's like you can disagree with. It's a war. Even for enemies, have some sympathy. But he's not even your enemy. Like he's your brother in Islam. One aspect, and definitely he's a brother in Islam, and he's culturally your brother because you speak the same language, and that you'd have no affinity with your own thing. And so one of the ulama of Kuwait, his video is up. I'm not sure how old that video is. Sheikh Usman Khamis, he in his video, like he's got a few million followers, and he on YouTube, and he said that anybody that celebrates the death of a Muslim, is because it's irtidad, a person becomes murtad.
Wow.
Because you are not you're showing disloyal to Allah and the mu'mineen and the believers and celebrating and really reveling in the death, and you're taking the side of the kuffar.
Kuwaiti scholar.
Kuwaiti scholar. He's probably the most well-known, one of the most senior scholars of Kuwait, a great day. So he said that. So it's not, I think most people have common sense and will recognize. I mean, these things take time. In these sort of countries like in Australia and others, he'll be seen as of course,
he was a terrorist.
There was a terrorist and so forth.
Well,
but
Hamas is a
give
listed
it
in the West. There's about only 4 or 5 countries where
the
Hamas
Five Eyes,
is a listed terrorist organization.
But everywhere else is not, and that's
it's not.
yeah.
They're a resistance organization.
Yeah.
So for Australia, it's known as a terrorist organization. So Yahya Sinwar, being the leader, will be the death of a terrorist.
Yeah.
But like I heard today, one man, not that I'm just one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
Exactly.
That's what happened with the Irish.
Yeah, give it enough time, and then there'll be thing. But then you have this psycho. He's been taken to task by lawyers. What's his name?
Who's that?
The Netanyahu spokesman, Australian.
Elon Levy.
Or
Mark Regev.
Yeah,
Regev.
that guy.
They've taken him to the ICC.
Not just ICC. He's been.
Wait, microphone, please.
1 second. Let me just find it.
I just wanted to say that. I've done a lot of kilometers today, it's fun.
Oh, walk?
No, driving.
Oh,
All over Melbourne.
What's his name?
Regev.
Huh?
Regev.
Yeah, he was.
In Australia?
Huh?
Taken to task by lawyers in Australia?
Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah, I
he.
don't know anything about that.
What's
I
it
know
say?
they've taken him to the ICJ.
Mark Regev, right? So he's been. Yeah, Aboriginal activist files genocide case against
Oh, yes.
ex-Israeli envoy to UK in Australian court. So Aboriginal Australian activist Robbie Thorpe, uncle of Senator
Robbie
Lydia
Thorpe.
Thorpe,
Oh,
filed
really?
a private prosecution case against Mark Regev, a former senior advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, accusing him of advocating genocide against Palestinians. The case, brought under Section 82D of the Australian Criminal Code, was heard earlier this month at Melbourne Magistrate Court. In public statement before the hearing, the Thorpe announced, "I find it offensive that this country that committed genocide against us is now allowing our country to be used as a base to advocate genocide against Palestinian people. How Australia responds to the Genocide Convention is important to me. Considering it wasn't an offence until recently, colonial Australia has failed to prevent genocide, and they have failed to punish anyone for the crimes here or anywhere, despite the 1948 Genocide Convention." And he's added, "This is a significant case because it is engaging the act and no person is immune. Not the king, not the prime minister, attorneys, generals, nobody, not anybody is immune. No one is immune from from being prosecuted on genocide charges. This case opens the door for Aboriginal genocide claims around this continent and elsewhere around the world for anybody." Thorpe, alongside his lawyer Daniel Taylor, attended the opening statement of this case, and he said,
And it's in the
so
magistrate.
he holds Mark Regev holds both Australian and Israeli citizenship. Previously served as Australia's Israel's ambassador to the UK, was charged with advocating genocide for remarks made on ABC Radio National on 10th of October 2023. In the broadcast, Regev defended the Israel Defense Minister Yoav Gallant's decision to impose a total siege on Gaza, cutting off essential supplies and so forth. So yeah, the people are waking up, and others are realizing how cruel and they said I got the date wrong on the podcast.
Oh, I love
Okay.
it. Well done, gentlemen. I love
many-
it.
What's the date today?
How many? 22nd.
22nd. It's already the 22nd of October.
How many things have you got it wrong, bro?
Huh?
You forgot the mic when
The mic we fixed it, alhamdulillah. The cameras have been fixed.
doing the class.
Irfan's loving it right
when
now.
Doing the class,
What's that?
when doing the class.
You want to pass my class or not? Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
what happened in the class?
I don't know what happened.
You forgot the mic.
No, it was only for 2 minutes. Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
you're recording it.
So that's happening. That was today, I think.
So speaking of the Thorpes, you see what Lydia Thorpe did today to King Charles?
yeah. You're not my
She just
king.
lost it. Yeah, all that screaming, and then she just got.
She
taken
does
out.
that. She does that. Like, yeah.
But like one spokesman was saying the other, how else are we supposed to be heard? Because people are saying this is not the place for it. This is not the place to talk about it.
Mm.
But if you don't talk about it, when are you going to talk about it?
And she's a senator.
Yeah, and they're all sitting there laughing, smiling.
Who's that?
Everybody else in the gallery, including the king and everyone else. I didn't even know he was here.
Mm.
Charlie,
Is he?
how come he didn't come on our podcast? Didn't you invite him?
King Charles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's the royal family is on the way out. Unless
Is it though in Australia? You're talking about in
to
Australia?
a certain degree.
But we've got to have another referendum.
Yeah, and the problem is like Albo's not he
No,
probably
he's
will not
not.
deliver.
No, he won't.
Yeah, he's become a really
I've
terrible
lost-
prime minister.
Oh, it's shocking.
yeah.
When he
But-
first won, I was like, okay, an everyman's man, like someone that's come up from.
But then he's not going anywhere because they're Labor. It's either Labor or Liberal. Like that's what's going to be. Even if you get a minority, like other parties in who will make the government is the Labor and Liberal always. So the idea there'll be a third party that will actually come close to them. There'll be other third parties
Why
who get
don't
more
you run-
seats.
Why don't you run for PM?
No, there'll be other parties that will get
No,
extra seats like Greens and whatever,
Yeah.
Pauline Hanson, all that sort of stuff. But they will never come to Labor. They're too entrenched. The two-party system.
But this is throughout the whole Western world, the two-party system.
Yeah, it's intentionally. It's by
but both
design.
sides are the same. It is by design.
Yeah, so you're not gonna. It's for them. They see it as the better the one that you know. Like
The better the devil you know.
exactly. So
And
instead of
the
the ones
two
you don't
sides
know.
of the same coin, mate.
So these are predictable. And they'll keep the system going as it is, and they'll each one keep taking turns. So in
yeah,
ruling.
10 years here, 10 years there.
Yeah.
And it feels like, or the people are led to believe that they're making the choices.
Yeah,
And they're voting
so
in the people that
Green will get a
supposed to-
seat there, then we'll lose it. Labor will win it back again.
Yeah.
On and on and on, just
You
continues.
see the Australian Jewish.
But the Greens will never form a party. They'll never form. They'll
They'll
never.
have a party.
They will never win.
Government.
They'll never win as a make government. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Agreed.
So, I will vote for the Greens. Probably a waste.
Yes, I agree.
Well, gentlemen, I have to disagree with you.
Yeah.
But see, the Australian Jewish Association, the Hindu Association of Australia, and the Iranian Association of Australia have all banded together to go against the Greens
Why?
because they're saying that their statements, they're too chilled basically, and they don't want the racism from the Greens. Oh, there was all these random things. Look it up. My phone's off.
What is the Iranians getting there? I get that.
the war in Iran right now, like what's going on.
These are these are the secular,
Yeah,
the anti-Khomeini,
and the Hindus
anti-revolution,
And the funny part is the Hindus are joining with the Australian Jewish Association,
which is a strange thing.
which
as well.
is but that's because birds of a feather, I suppose.
Yeah.
However, they must know what Judaism thinks of them or what Jews think of them.
Yeah.
Like they
There's a
say,
concept-
they're closer to
I find them to be
Muslims.
suckers,
They're closer to
Suckers.
Muslims than they are to Hindus,
Yeah.
and they classify the Hindu. They are idol worshippers.
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting. Like
Yeah.
it goes to show it's not Judaism as per se; it's Zionism.
Well, people don't know much of distinction between the two, probably. But,
Yeah, that's the problem.
so they just see that they can. I think they're only looking from a worldly point of view, and they will always like. It's strange. I find the Zionist as like a Jewish origin organization or movement strange that they benefited from this protection of the Muslims. Muslims didn't do the Holocaust or anything like that to them,
They actually welcomed them into
or
Palestine.
the Inquisition or anything
Yeah.
like that, and then they took it upon themselves to do what they did to the Palestinians, and like in a very cruel way, and it's still doing it.
Oh.
Obviously, it's been so long, and
Ruthless.
but the thing is, they like what is it?
children.
What is it that they? It doesn't even make sense. Like why?
I think it's just a crazy bloodlust.
Yeah, but like, shouldn't you read history and say the Muslims saved you? The Muslims even allowed you to come to Masjid Al-Aqsa when they conquered it, when the Christians wouldn't. And in the Spanish Inquisition, Jews migrated and were welcome in the Muslim lands.
Do you think that there's anger from that they couldn't defend themselves and the Muslims had to defend them? So now
Yeah, but they were so small compared to the Muslims overall that yeah. But anyway, that's the unfortunate reality, and it's not every Jew, obviously. There are non-Zionist Jews.
It's not Judaism. It's the Zionism.
But because it's a pro-Jewish thing.
But they say they're Jewish,
So-
but then at the same time they say they're atheists. There's many atheists, so it's quite it's when it's convenient.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's been happening with you this week?
We started this Arabic course last week.
You find how is he as a teacher? Is he doing your head in? I love my teacher.
Yes. You have to be respectful to teachers.
Oh, that's true, man.
Yeah.
So
If you want to gain true knowledge, you have to be respectful to your teachers.
How are you finding the class overall?
No, alhamdulillah. I see. My goal is the way I think what drove me to this class was the goal is to eventually read an Arabic book, like for example the fiqh book, and go through that book and understand what's written in that book.
So we decided it's just a 1.5 hour week course. It's about a dozen brothers studying at the moment.
a dozen.
Yeah. So
Mashallah.
and the brothers are mashallah. I teach. So we got me and Sheikh Mudassir, Mullah Mudassir teaches. Mullah Mudassir Ali
Yep.
So yeah. So he teaches one component, which is the Understand Quran courses, 50% and so forth.
Yeah.
So that's about 45 minutes. It's based on the vocabulary frequency of the words of the Quran. If you study the 20 classes over 20 weeks or whatever, then you'll know 50% of the vocabulary of the Quran on average, given a page. That's one course, along with some handwriting exercises, not calligraphy, handwriting, actually how to write in Arabic neatly. And the second part is what I teach, which is like my lessons that I'm creating. So it's like an original course.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's based on a book written by, I think it's a Palestinian Christian
So
who
it's
wrote
not
it in
original.
Princeton in the 50s.
So it's not original.
Well, it's based on that, but the course, the structure, the words, and everything like that. So that book was written for media Arabic. So 1,000 common words of media, like newspapers and whatnot. Mine's changed to Islamic. Like I've used some of the structures of that book, but I've done it in my own way. So, but it is an original book because there's no book like it. You know, the content of it's changed. So it follows a broad, like a rough outline of that book. But then I've got my own things. Like for example, they have to memorize one hadith every week. So in a year they'll memorize 40 hadiths, short hadiths. Yeah. So like based on the grammar rule that they've learned.
Yes.
Yeah. So alhamdulillah, like it's like 10 years experience that goes into that teaching.
Yeah, of course.
So it's alhamdulillah. So far 2 lessons down. I've only created the next 2 lessons.
Have you only done 2 lessons so far?
Yeah.
Have they been recorded?
Yes.
So if so, let's say when would be the late if somebody wanted to join? And this is not a plug. This
I won't accept any students from now on. It's too late. Yeah.
It's pretty full, right?
Because it's sort of like you can't recreate the class by yourself at home. I guess the recording can be used, but
but if it's only been 2 or 3 classes, can't someone
join?
Say wanting to listen? Like, hey man, that's
like we had a brother tonight who came in who didn't come last week.
Okay,
you can see he's struggling.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, just one class.
Is that how fast you guys moved?
It's not about fast. It's just the way, you know, it's the high level techniques that an expert teacher is. Astaghfirullah.
No, but what if they watch? What if they watched your video?
No, you won't get out of the video. I don't think
That's
so.
why you have to be the sohbah of this sheikhs.
No, but I understand that. But I'm saying for somebody that joins, someone that joins a little bit late, could they join? Like, could they watch the videos at home and just?
Can you stop filming it? It's making too much noise.
Nah, I think
I'm trying to fix it.
Wajid,
Cram and catch up.
Because every class is an add-on to the other class. So the first, like, it's not just.
So it's basically it's too late for me.
Yeah, can you stop removing it?
I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah, just put it a bit to this side. Put a bit to this side.
I have. It's done.
No,
it's
put
done.
it
Well,
this
I'm not
side.
touching it now. It's done.
Okay, please.
Yeah, the long dress.
No, because it sounds really loud to the people at home. That's why.
Does it sound loud to you guys?
It does sound loud to them.
They like loud sounds.
Anyway.
So the previous class adds like the
builds on.
Yeah, builds on. It's
so it's already like the brother that came in today. He's already like playing catch up. He's struggling to catch up, but everybody else is like, and everyone's like started. If he started 1 week ago, he would be actually at the same level.
Is it difficult?
No, alhamdulillah. I think
you have to give time.
You see, the good thing is eventually like you can like today he sent us something without harakat and.
So even like the week 1 lessons that they've done, I send them this like during the week a paper with what they've done but without any of the harakat.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah. So with the without the harakat. So then they read it in class without any harakat.
Without the harakat.
Sentences.
Did it feel like an achievement?
Yeah, and I felt it as an achievement, like reading it perfectly without, like, putting the right harakat.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
So the course is
now I got FOMO.
So so there's motivation. Then they're reading the hadith without harakat, like an Arab would read. So within 1 week, that's one lesson down. They're able to read whatever they've learned. They're able to read it without harakat. And so the idea is the course is designed is that with 1 year, that students are able to read a fiqh book with a teacher without needing a translation. They can read directly in Arabic.
Okay, so how much extra time are you giving at home for this?
I'd give 15 to 20 minutes a day, like doing my homework, going through.
Yeah, that's doable.
15. That's it. 15 to 20 minutes.
That's for me. That's how much I give.
So
I need to give more maybe, but I need some.
Yeah, I estimated if they want to do well, they need to do
half an hour.
Half an hour a day on average. Yeah, if they want to do really well, they should give more, but at least half an hour a day. There's like in my subject, there's like 4. How many components? Sarf, Nahu, Hadith, and
sorry, that's one.
Yeah, so like basically 4 an exercise. So there's like 4 components, and if they decide split over like 6 days, they should be able to like one of the components over 2 days. Yeah, it's not a huge amount of work as long as they get it done. But the problem is like you let it pile up, you're gonna it's an accumulative process. So. But I can't think of anybody else has done a course. There's no course that
Mashallah.
I know of that someone's done like this. Like to give access to the average person. So you got a full-time alim, which is like 6 hours a day. You got like a part-time alim, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's like a sort of thing. You got in the UK like part-time weekend alimi courses, which is like 7-8 hours in each day, Saturday and Sunday. which come back to 15 hours roughly as well. So under that, for the average person to do, to target for the average person who can read the Quran already at a semi-decent pace, they don't have to have any memorization under the belt. They can read the Quran. They look into it, do nazira, look in the Quran, and to get them in 1 year, in 40 sessions to hopefully about 32 to 40 sessions. I'm not sure yet. So it's going to be taught in a few places, inshallah. So
That's amazing.
and a few brothers going to teach. My idea is like the vision is for the people of Melbourne, inshallah. Inshallah, others will get benefit as well beyond that. Inshallah, I'll reach and make it all reach all the shores. Inshallah, give it acceptance.
Ameen.
But the idea is that the average person in Melbourne to be able to, if they want to learn Deen and to get close to the Arabic language, by extension, click closer to Islam, knowledge of Deen, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and because we learn Hadith, and ultimately to get close to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. So by that, because if you understand Salat from beginning till end, you can understand Hadith, you can understand Deeni books in Arabic directly. Like that's one of the frustrating thing I found in looking at the non-Arab, the way they do Deen, and an Arab, because I have access to, because my teachers are Arabs, or Arab teachers in Kuwait.
What do you mean by the frustrating thing?
That a non-Arab is totally disconnected from an Arab sheikh who teaches, like great scholars. So an Arab alim, like one of my teachers, they give a dars in the mosque. For the average Arab, they pick up a book that's 500 years old, 1,000 years old, and they teach it in the mosque to the people.
The average person,
like a fiqh book or a aqidah book. And they teach it in Arabic, and they read the book in Arabic, and the people can understand most of that book, a book that's written 1,000 years ago.
SubhanAllah.
Or 500 years ago. They can actually understand it with little difficulty. And if you read that in Arabic in anywhere else, like in Australia, only Arabs would understand it. So in a way, they're cut off. And the problem with Arabic education is so open-ended, it's not focused. Like I was listening to a podcast.
What do you mean? Like, explain it.
Like you're trying to learn the whole language from the A to Z. Like I'm wearing a red jacket. I'm sitting in my blue car wearing my red jacket. Like irrelevant sentences you're never going to use. It's nice, but it's like these sentences are never going to be used. So they're good for certain things, but they're not good for others. So the books are like filled with unnecessary. Like if you have a goal, like the 50% Understand Quran series, you can have a look online. You can buy the books online. You can buy the PDFs from understandquran.com, and you can do the PDF, and then they have the video classes which are there on YouTube. So they're free. It's available for free. So the first component that we do, it's that brother realized, okay, I don't want to teach the whole of Arabic to people. People want to understand basically what they're reading on the Quran and their salat from beginning till end. So he designed a course, and the course is 20 lessons here, 20 lessons. 20 lessons, you can understand half the Quran. The next 20 lessons, you understand 70% of the Quran. Next one, you understand 90% of the Quran. So 3-4 courses. By the end of the year, you understand 99% of the Quran.
MashaAllah.
Just by 1 hour weekly lesson, right? So that's one component. But then I wanted to take it further, build on that, and say, all right, that's Arabic and Quran. Also, people understand Islamic sciences. So the ulama, I'm not sure if I explained this before, but the ulama, they write in a standardized language. It's a legalistic language, right? So the fiqh books are written, the aqidah books are written by the same people, the hadith commentaries, the Quran commentaries, all written in the same standardized language. So the vocabulary is limited, right? So you're not learning flowery language. Yeah, that comes in it as well, in like sort of detailed tafsirs and things, but it's a very limited range of vocabulary. It's specific to that science because explaining certain spiritual concepts and specific concepts, the vocabulary is limited. Hence, it's like studying English for engineering, English for law, English. Yeah. So we've made it like an uphill thing, like the language, and we're learning irrelevant conversations and
I think that's
to become, and those are distractions. I reckon
people are trying to speak the language, but not to understand.
Yeah, and speaking language, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But if you don't have time, focus it, and then you can build on that. You can build spoken Arabic off that and other things. But let's prioritize Quranic Arabic, Salat, and also understanding like Islamic texts. Yeah, and then you study with a teacher, like a book, and you go through, even if it's one sentence a week or 2 sentences, you're progressing in your knowledge, and you connect it to that sheikh who wrote a book 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, who did a service for Deen. So inshallah, that's the course. I don't know. These guys are the guinea pigs. They're the first batch.
Bro, I got massive FOMO now listening to this.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
This, especially the one Sheikh Khalid is designing, I think is the first, like with the hadith component of it and the application of the rules that it.
And then finding the hadith, like for example, the first week hadith and this week's hadith and next week's one as well, is basically one rule, grammar rule.
Yes.
Right? The hadith only has one grammar rule in it.
Okay.
Right? So from one grammar rule, sentence structure that they've learned in the week one, my first 45-minute class, they know that this hadith is, and that hadith is only that rule in it. There's only 2 words that make up the sentence. Now, to find, and then the next week, it's like they learned about gender, second lesson. So how the sentence is affected, like the first part of the sentence, second part of the sentence changes based on gender. If the first one is masculine, the second part is masculine, and if it's feminine, it's feminine. Now to find a hadith for that rule, only those 2 rules. Then the third lesson is that the 4th lesson I got to was almost impossible. I went through 10 hadiths today, and then you have to check the hadith authentic. You have to check, and then you have to be short hadith, and then you have to say it's appropriate. And also I choose the hadith based on spiritual or tazkiyah, purification. So there's like something to take from that. You understand the Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the words of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You understand the grammar rules of the words of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So you understand the word meanings, the grammar rules, and also it's a spiritual. So it's something that's applicable for you that you can act upon in your life immediately. So it's something that and you memorize it. So you internalize it.
Fazim's pretty pumped, mashallah. I can see it.
No. This again, my goal was understanding the way, reading a book with Sheikh maybe one day, inshallah. Like a fiqh book or sitting with him, and
inshallah.
That's inshallah.
I did a test. Were you in that batch in Doncaster?
Yes.
So I did an experiment, if you remember.
Understand?
I was but while I was teaching that on the side, I got the brothers to read like a fiqh book.
Yeah, you brought us. Yeah, you brought us 1 page a day. You used to.
I did experiments like sort of, can this be done? That's where the inspiration came from. I said, can this be done? Can you get the average person to read an Arabic fiqh book within 1 year or 20, 30 lessons? And I realized, you can do this. If you focus a little bit and teach them through a grammar book, language book that is focused for this purpose. So what will happen is, the other brilliant thing about the course that I'm basing it on, after lesson 5 or 6, they'll be not getting like disjointed list of sentences. They'll be getting like a paragraph from a fiqh book, a purification book, or an aqidah book, whatever Islamic science, hadith commentary book, whatever is all simplified based on the grammar rules that they've done, and make it non-madhab. Like you'll be talking about salat, the fiqh of salat, but something that all the madhab agree upon, something like that. So they, inshallah, I'm hoping, inshallah.
Yeah, but
sounds good.
And it is good, and I think the course you're making, you should compile it, and I mean it's a good thing.
Yeah, inshallah. But in a year and a half, it'll be booked, inshallah.
Inshallah.
I hope.
Good job. What about you, Irfan? What's been happening with you apart from Arabic?
Alhamdulillah, nothing much. I think.
How's the Faulkner elections going?
When's that over? Is it 25th?
I don't know the Faulkner, but I heard Tarnet had a ballot heist again.
Ballot heist
again?
Was it the last week one?
No, there's something happened again.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, not
Bro, what
not
is
in Tarnet.
going on?
There was a. Yeah, in Tarnet was a counts of ballot paper stolen in Australian Post van theft. Oh, that's another one. That's from 4 days ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there was one on the 14th of October, and there's another one that happened 2 days later. So there's one in Tarnet, A suspected ballot heist at Tarnet Central only postal box threatens voters in Tarnet North, West, and possibly Brinbeel and Wimber wards, right? And then you've got there's another one.
Why does it happen in the West?
We're back on Friday.
I've got no words for this. I can't believe we're actually discussing this.
Yeah.
We're talking about ballot heists.
Yeah.
In Australia.
Yeah, I don't know.
Suspected ballot heist threatens election integrity. Yeah. Electoral fraud. So it's in...
Where does it stop?
Huh?
Where does it stop?
No, this one happened in... votes were included in the heist. It's likely some voters in the city Monash will need to send in their ballots again. So it's a Monash one.
That's the other side of the city.
Yeah, in the south. So it seemed to be a new.
The Clayton side already.
Huh?
Irfan, where are you going with this, Irfan?
Yeah. So.
Wow. Where's he going with this, mate? Where's he going?
Well, what do you reckon?
Everybody's just gone silent.
No, because
it's just understood.
We understand what's going on here.
It's just understood.
This is a
That's the sad part.
what do we call it last week? This is Dundee. What do they call it?
You call it Dundee or something?
Yeah, vote rigging in Pakistan. They do this thing. It's a very subcontinent. It's got like
There's a certain type of flavor to it.
something ghee flavor.
Learn something from us. Bring the dead voters, bro. That's it.
Bro, that's on another level. Springvale Cemetery for the Monash side.
Kenyan, what was it? They
The dead voters. The voter is dead in mortuary.
Yeah, what did he say last time? That the guy won by what?
So the voters registered were a certain number, but the guy won by 100,000 more votes.
So 200,000 voters were registered, but he won by 300,000 votes.
So this is ridiculous.
Where does it stop? Now you just. What am I going to say?
it's a recent development in Australian politics. Maybe this is the norm from now on. This is how we're going to be doing things from now on.
God help us.
Yeah.
I'm starting to vote for Pauline soon. Seriously, Sister Pauline's going to start getting my vote soon.
What's happening with the BRICS? They had a thing today for a few days. So BRICS is the Brazil, Russia, India,
China,
and South Africa. Is it? Yeah, South Africa.
BRICS.
So those are 5. And then
but there's a few pointing to join as well now.
there's a few joined
There's
already.
A few people knocking at the doors.
Who's joined already?
And then China said as well for the UN Security Council that a few other countries should be involved.
Yeah.
If you put a K, it becomes Kenya.
Oh, okay. Does Kenya want to join though?
No, that's what our business teacher used to tell us. So Kenya should aim to get, but
Yeah.
So there's a Jazeera article where U.S. economist Richard Wolff weighs in on the BRICS, the systematic problem of the United States economy and the future of Israel. The American empire has peaked, and we're on the way down, and we try to hold on, says Richard Wolff, Professor Emeritus of Economics at the University of Massachusetts. Anyway, who notes that the BRICS coalition economy, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, is gaining an edge over the United States. Wolff tells a host, this is in the program, it's a very difficult experience for Americans to realize that they lost wars in Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Iraq, and despite unconditional support from the US, Israel will not be able to prevail in the long run.
Wow.
And he said Israel is a country of a few million and is not going to control and run the Middle East with or without the United States. So there's some reality checks coming in.
Okay, yeah, but without the United States, but that's the whole point. United States.
Yeah, but economy, you need money, and
they just print more money.
That doesn't work. That just causes inflation. Those countries are already, because they push Russia out of the SWIFT system.
Yeah, that's right.
So what's happening is they are about to.
Well, they're waking up to say they can do it to us.
They can unplug from the US dollar. That's what's happening. The reserve currency of the world.
Oh,
yeah. Once that does, once they, the dependence on the US dollar goes, you watch like that's.
But this is where one of the reasons why they got rid of Gaddafi as well.
yeah.
He wanted to create his own African
yeah.
currency.
Yes, he
But
wanted a gold coin then.
Yeah, but the difference is Libya is very different to Russia, China.
yeah.
Together.
Yeah,
Oh yes.
all these guys together. However, yeah, I think we're still a long way away from that. It's not a quick
You're
decline.
surprised how quickly things are moving in the world.
You heard that about the low birth rate. It's
It's at rock bottom in Australia, 1.5.
Is that right?
Yeah. To replacement is 2.1, right? Replacement birth rate.
Yeah, but that's why but you know who the next lot is? All these Indians that have come in.
Migrants.
Sorry. They've had what? There's 1 million people from India in Australia.
In the last 2 years.
Over 1 million.
In the 1 year, yeah.
And all of these guys are going to have at least 2 to 3 babies, minimum.
Okay.
There's your birth rate.
but
but that doesn't that so 286,000 kids were born registered in Australia 2023 for resulting a total fertility rate of 1.5 babies per woman, and so we've hit rock bottom. 1.5 is extremely important because 1.5 is like there's no return after that if you drop under that.
Yes.
Because you can
no
recover.
return.
Yeah. Because after 1.5, there's now like they've reached critical. Because once it goes down, it spirals, and so Australia will not be the same Australia as before. So total fertility rate or TFR over past 30 years has slowly dropped from 1.86 93 to it started a while back to 1.5 in 2023. Right, the birth rate for girls and women aged 15 to 19 has fallen by more than 2/3 over the period. There's been a large
people
decline.
are having babies earlier. I mean, later. much
2024 has declined as well. Where we've got into a position where young people are saying how now is inhospitable to having children.
Which is true. A lot of young people that I speak to say we don't want to bring kids up. We don't want kids in the world the way the world is.
Why?
Yeah.
There's chaos, war.
Yes. Oh.
And also he said, I'll have maybe a child or two, right?
Yeah, house prices, like so many different factors.
Yeah.
Cost of living.
So what they're saying is this professor saying, what is so important about this particular number, 1.5, is that once we hit this figure, we're basically staring down the barrel of no return.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, but is this including
There's everybody.
all these new migrants as well and all this?
But the migrants is, this is Australian birth rates at the moment.
Yeah, that'll change in the next 5 years. I think it's going to go up.
I don't think so.
No, 1 million is not
I do.
enough. 1 million is only 4% of the population.
Yeah.
And then
so-
also the Indians that are coming, they are like, a lot of them like, they don't want to have
Not
big
just Indians, let's just say migrants.
migrants. Yeah, majority.
You said Indian.
I don't think that.
You said
I think
Indian,
we're assuming they're going to have 3, 4, 5 kids.
We are.
No,
Nah,
you're assuming
nah,
that,
you're
but not
assuming-
everybody's
yeah, I
like
agree
that.
with you.
It's 2024,
I
mate.
agree,
Even
no.
they don't want that many kids.
I want another 10.
Okay, yes, you believe it because you have tawakkul. You have tawakkul. Rely on Allah
No.
and trust in Allah.
As Khalid said, be an entrepreneur, sir.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after. Doctor said the reason why dropping below the birth rate on 5 would make it so hard to come back up again was that having so few new babies coming through hampers economic growth, which in turn leads people to have even fewer babies. She described a deep-seated attitudinal problem facing millions of young Australians. Right.
But you can't blame millions of these young Australians because if you have a look at what's in front of them, it's quite a bleak picture.
Mm.
Do you think if they're to bring up the baby bonuses back, will that help?
No, mine said no. I have no idea. That's where we're starting for second, third, and fourth. Nah, astaghfirullah.
So the 4 main reasons at the heart of it is housing affordability,
Yeah.
That's right.
I
economic
agree.
security,
Yep.
and really comes down to job security.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what gender equality and climate change. I don't know what that's got to do it, but basically these are the policies.
Climate change because they don't want to bring kids into this world.
Oh,
While the sea levels are rising.
Yeah.
Listen, this is what these are the points you're talking about. I'm telling you what the points are.
Yeah. This is like a belief system that's created around that, but it doesn't change anything. That's not even an issue anyway. Gender equality. What's that got to do with it? Like, what does that mean? How does that affect the birth rate? Is it that the lady is bound to, she's not getting support?
Or they're working because you need 2 people working. There's no.
No, but gender equality. What's that got to do with like them not having? I get about job security, economic security, house affordability, climate change nonsense anyway.
Maybe
but
someone listening
gender
can help us
equality.
out. Someone listening can help us out. Right in the comments.
Maybe the pain that I don't know, man. Saying that you don't know the pain.
Oh, bro, where you going with this, man? Where you going with this?
You don't know what I go through.
I don't know.
Job security. I
So
understand.
1.5 after that. That's critical mass, huh?
Okay, so the brother saying that the
First two. Let's give this
the
gentleman-
postal
let's
votes.
give this man credit.
The postal votes were stolen. Not for the postal. I think it was the van was stolen for parcels, not for the.
They just had the post.
So that feels better. It's not an epidemic. It's just one off.
Alhamdulillah.
It's one off thing that happened on the other side of the.
So this poor guy that stole it for parcels.
They're
All he
hunting him
got- all
down
he
for
got-
voter fraud. Poor guy.
All he's got is
I mean,
votes.
He's doing haram, I guess. So, yeah.
Voter fraud? Of course it is.
Yeah.
Or you mean stealing?
Yeah.
Or both? Enlighten us. That wasn't the microphone, that was the camera.
Mm.
Do you want people to get closer to you, Sheikh?
Yeah. So, those are the few things that happened this week.
So are you going to have any more children to help out with his birth rate?
Inshallah.
I mean, Irfan.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
We can only make intention.
Inshallah.
We will start with intention, inshallah.
Allahu Akbar.
But it is expensive, man. Having a baby. You have babies, so
Facebook Marketplace, dude.
no.
Actuals. I'm actually being serious.
Oh, okay. So he said gender equality as in equal job opportunities for men and women. So women are choosing careers instead of having children. Thank you, Ibn Saifi. So yeah, it's career versus. So she's, yeah.
So the importance also the importance of being a mother as compared to the importance or what's the word I'm looking for? It's in the tip of my tongue, I can't remember it. Of being a career woman, that seems to be better. So that the value of being a mother has diminished.
Yeah, the system is it's a capitalistic system and only values the labor that you produce and the money that you make.
Yeah.
So although there are policies for, to what were they doing? Like, obviously equal pay. That's like all long.
Maternity leave. Maternity leave is good.
Yeah, maternity leave. There was things created to support this, but yeah, ultimately, when you have societal family breakdown, then from that perspective, yeah, that's a risk that they're taking. They're putting their job on the line.
That's right.
Right.
And it's very hard it's very hard to go back.
Yeah.
And not that it's hard to go back, it's that people aren't willing to take you back.
Yeah.
Or that value, and this.
And then the
problem.
reverse side is that you can just keep working, become successful, and you have like someone was saying a sort of thing that you'll be 50 years old with a 10-year-old child, and you'll be lonely, right? So this is the other reality.
If you have a 10-year-old child, you won't be.
Like at 40, you have one child, and then you're 50, you have one child and divorced probably. No, this is the reality. Many, and you won't really have like the family compared to a lady that got married younger. She's got grandkids at that age.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you.
So
grandkids, the family's around. It's an extended family system.
So you have a different sort of like satisfaction in your life, and then the career and the money.
I think.
Give me kids any day, man.
I think even to solve this gender inequality, I think the way initially it used to be paternal and maternity leave.
So does that mean that
they combine this right now?
That's right. That's correct.
Yeah.
So it's not you can get paternal leave.
Mm.
So does that mean that we need to balance it out, start paying mothers for being mothers?
I think that's what is being asked, but
yes.
If you think about it, because
but it
this is one
doesn't
of the most
sit well.
important jobs.
But
it will not sit well with the capitalistic because
they're not producing anything.
Yeah,
they're not making
they're
money.
not
They're not making
yeah.
money off them.
Even though they're producing citizen and probably raise them well and all that, but that's not. And so it's not really it's not really the government's job to raise them. It's you broke down the family system. Now it's like you're as a society.
That's actually not a bad idea though.
What?
Paying mothers to be mothers.
Yeah, but there could be like lazy mothers and like useless mothers that take advantage of, like as a cash cow.
We know that don't exists. Not useless. That's the wrong word to use, but that already exists.
Treat the government like
bro. There's some horrific stories about it.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it. I could tell you horrific stories about that, mothers and fathers. But the fact that this is such an important job.
Yeah, but the thing is, like,
it's a job.
You're making the government like the husband then. And he's providing. That's what you make him. He's a sugar daddy.
No. It's not the government, the sugar daddy. No, what you're doing is I disagree
he's your
with
baby daddy.
I disagree with that. You're telling these women we value what you're doing.
Are you telling them, or is the government telling them?
As a society.
As a
I mean, theoretically, the.
So where's the guy? Where's her husband?
He's working and he's doing his thing.
But he's her husband. He's responsible for
you're
her.
Looking at but this is her income. This is her contribution to the household, as well as looking after the kids.
Yeah, it's from their perspective, from the modern secular capitalistic perspective, that makes sense. From a natural family traditional,
it doesn't make sense.
Even Christian. Even Islamic tradition, this is nonsensical. Like the
this
government
is to
will
solve
pay.
the 1.5 crisis and to bring value back into motherhood.
Yeah, I think that's too late. Yeah, it's too late.
I don't think so.
I think we're heading for
I
a societal
think,
collapse.
I think young people are realizing the capitalistic system does, especially in this last year, doesn't work. What's actually happening behind the scenes? What's going on? And we've had enough.
Mm.
That is happening.
Well, aspects of it does work. It's just not all of it works. Yeah. Yeah, like free enterprise works.
See, guys,
You know, people can do, if you're free, you are the owner of your labor, you can earn and so forth. Yeah, unfettered capitalism, another thing. But capitalism does work to a certain degree. Like if it is, don't shoot me for this, but what I'm mentioning, I'm talking about business, like being able to you don't live in a communist society or socialist where your labor is owned by somebody else. You work and it doesn't matter how much you work, you'll get this fixed amount, and you work in the factory till you die and you don't own anything. That's
Animal Farm.
Yeah, so that's the other extreme, and that's what capitalism is heading towards, where there's certain few people that own you and your labor.
Well, that's what's happening now.
Yeah, so it's being concentrated because it's unfettered. So I think controlled capitalism, or it's not really capitalism in the way but free enterprise where people can do business, own their labor and the fruits of their labor. Yeah, this is something. Well, business is encouraged, and trade and entrepreneurship is encouraged in Islam. So as well. So I think the capitalism that we have, what is the birth rate like in Aboriginal Australian communities? Is it higher than the average?
No.
Mm.
Unfortunately.
Is it? How do you know? Do you know?
I'm just having a guess.
Okay.
It should be higher. The birth rate, yeah, 100%.
Huh?
The Aboriginal community is saying, right?
Mm.
Birth rate might be higher, but the life expectancy is much, much lower. You both checking this out?
Oh, yeah, it's higher. It's 2.17.
Yeah.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah.
We're coming back. Oh, they're coming back. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they're so small. They're such a small part of the population anyway.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
So they're like, tiny fraction of the overall population. That's not going to make a dent in the birth rate, because then
No, it's not.
this is the current rate, 1.5 we've reached. So that means it's going to even go more further down, right? This is where we are at the moment. So it doesn't matter how many people you bring in from outside. Yeah, it's not going to, yeah.
Of course it is.
You can I don't think they want to open the floodgates of just
They've opened the
immigration.
floodgates.
Yeah.
They don't want to open it. The floodgates are open for specific people.
Very strange.
It's a very specific type of people. Let's be real here. I'm just have you not noticed the difference in Australia in the last 5 years? Or in the last 3 to 4 years? I'm choosing my words extremely carefully because I'm going to come across sounding like the biggest one nation supporter on the planet. But what I'm saying is, and that's not my intention at all.
Okay.
But read the room, people. Read the room.
Yeah. Someone just sent in something. Nestle says its sales are suffering due to the Israeli boycotts.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, so they do work. They're feeling the
Boycotts
pinch.
work. Coke, Nestle, McDonald's. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
SodaStream is one of those guys as well that actually produce everything in their settlements. These settlements have got factories.
But it's an Israeli company. Yeah, there's Soda King. That's alternative. But I don't know what's that got relation with.
I just buy Aldi Cola now.
What's that?
Oh, speaking of which,
Salam.
speaking of cola, Salam Cola. Yes, mashallah.
There's a few of them around now.
I did the 5-day fast. Water fast. I forgot to tell you.
5 days.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
So I did 3 days, and then last week,
On Friday.
3 of us, we did the 5-day.
Yeah, and then
So from Sunday Arvo to Friday
Mashallah.
Arvo. It was full on.
and then Friday midway. Then
Oh, bro, Friday was hard. Friday was hard. 3 days I can do. 3 days I can do comfortably. It's not. And Allah tested me those last 2 days. Everywhere I went, I'm just seeing amazing food in front of me.
Oh,
But do you know what worked, man? I'll tell you one thing. There are a lot of benefits to it. I had these marks on my skin. They're actually gone. Mashallah, mashallah. It's trippy as.
seriously?
Look,
MashaAllah.
look. It's crazy. Like, it's actually crazy. I'll tell you about it after. Like, it's ridiculous.
MashaAllah.
Mashallah. So it does work. Malana, what are you looking up?
No, just checking the news. If anything's
Checking the news. Checking the news.
yeah.
Right.
Call it a night, inshallah.
Well, night. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon.
We got to get Mufti Haris back in again, inshallah. That was
Yeah, Mufti Haris, where are you, buddy? Give us a
he
call.
bailed on us last week,
He did.
so inshallah. Council elections.
Oh, mate. I don't know if I should say it. Do I say them?
What's happened? This is
Can
your ward?
Can we mute this first?
No. Why? What happened?
No,
No, tell me. Is it sensitive?
I don't know.
Is it about your area?
Yeah, I don't know if it's sensitive or I don't know if I can. Nah, you know what? I'll tell you after and then we'll decide for next week.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. So if you are, most people probably voted already by now, postal votes and whatnot. If you haven't voted, but do vote. Have a look at the candidates. Don't just go because it's green. They're automatically going to be good and whatnot. But look for the just to trigger him
Every time.
But
I'm not taking the bait.
but look for the one that is.
How do you know I don't vote Liberal?
Yeah, sure. But look for the one that is
Peter Dutton.
especially in the current. It does work. People that are we've had this discussion already 2 weeks ago, but use it if you have the opportunity. Use it for that which is good. Alhamdulillah, in the masjid, they started the Dars on Islam and Politics.
Oh,
The
well,
book
good
that
on you.
Islam and Politics.
Yes.
So it's doesn't fully fit with Muslims and minorities and so forth, but there are principles in there, which I started reading last week in the masjid. So it's the principles in there guide your involvement in the political process, and so the ayat, hadith, the principles, the rules. So it's like a new book that's recent, last 20 years it's written, but it takes into account all the resources, books and so forth, historical account, what the ulama wrote on politics. So, and the different methodologies that people use to understand modern politics. So, but it's Mufti Taqi Usmani, a teacher, Hafidullah, Allah preserve him. And
Ameen.
So this is a weekly dars, and people are, alhamdulillah, so far the feedback's been very good and they're appreciative of it, inshallah. So that's something new. Alhamdulillah.
You can catch the Darset on your YouTube channel.
YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel,
Manager?
or you can
Maybe
at the masjid. It's a masjid dar, so 7 to 7:30 p.m.
Omasit.
at Ummah Center
Half an
in
hour.
Doncaster.
What
Yeah,
day?
every Thursday.
Mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Market.
Because we got the state election
You're
coming.
marketing for Ummah Center.
Yeah,
not his
we've got the federal election coming,
Yeah,
state
but
election
that's
coming,
what it
federal,
is. That's the
state.
thing, yeah.
So Muslims are much more politically active. The problem is that we are like very ignorant on like a lot of the rulings of politics and so forth.
The only thing right
People-
now is parties that support genocide.
Mm.
Especially after
Yeah.
every day it's just worse and worse and worse. And the horrors are getting, when you think they just can't outdo themselves again and again and again. And we still have Muslims saying, no, it's not like that. I'll change the system. I'm sorry, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to get into the party and then I'm going to change it. No, why
I'm
would
sorry,
you choose
mate.
you and
You-
support? You
you-
strengthen the party that is.
Imagine the guy in Palestine who's just lost all his kids, or the kid that's just become an orphan,
Stop hitting the table because it's coming in the mic.
and you say, oh, look, what I'm going to do is over time I'm going to get into the party and change the system and things like that, what he would think.
Mm.
Yeah, and I understand.
You
It's
voted
true.
for the people that helped drop bombs on me
I
and
agree.
destroy my
Yeah,
family.
definitely.
I don't think they're looking at it like that, but
No, they're not. I am.
Yeah, so we should see
Let's
where
be
our
real.
loyalty should be, and ultimately you're choosing a politician. I said it in Juma last week as well. Is a politician. I don't trust any politician, Muslim otherwise. They're just politicians to me. But choose what we're choosing is they're both evil. Just choose the less of the two evil.
Well, like
Yeah.
that's what was seemed reasonable.
This is evil for this reason. This
Right.
one's evil for this reason.
There was a lot of politicians sitting in the room in that meeting. You know, Wasim Rizvi.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like, I'm sorry for all the politicians, but let's assume they're all evil.
yeah.
They're all corrupt. All of that. Choose the least worst of them.
Mm.
That's it.
That's what Sheikh Khalid is saying.
Yeah, he's saying that. Now, this guy said it in front of me. You can see them all going, what? But that's the reality,
Yeah.
right? So it's not that, one is, but everyone's got their own motives and things like that. But there's just some things you can't overlook, man.
Mm.
Well, I can't. Maybe it's just me.
All right, let's call it a night. Jazakallah khair. Everyone
Yeah, cool.
joined us. We'll see you next week, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.